Yo guys, what's up? Oh man. It is 1:38 a.m. Perfect time to do a delid. I don't know if they're showing up with me moving around, but I'm gonna bust the Linus, rock some sandals and socks. Hopefully that'll boost my viewership or something. We'll see what happens. 6:08 p.m. in Australia. Nice. Yeah, it's your Monday. Well, it's technically Monday now here too. Just had to make an espresso shot. Hopefully I was able to get enough of a battery charge on this headset. Earlier stream it was running low. So the 7920X, it was the IHS, I popped it off earlier on, I don't know, 2 streams ago. So it needs to be cleaned. It needs to be basically fully prepped like a normal delid. The only difference is that I already popped the IHS off. Let's get the fans going. It's like 79 degrees Fahrenheit in here. Let's see. What am I doing? One thing I'm doing also, this white one right here, we're getting Windows installed. So actually, let's see what's going on. Just loaded up the image. It's an 8086. Image is done. So I'm probably going to be multitasking and overclocking this also. Once I get into the desktop, I'm going to run Cinebench at stock and record temperatures. And then what I'm doing for these are the Bimbox Striker S builds. I'm just going to set it to 1.35 volts and 5.2 gigahertz, and we're going to feel it out. If it passes Cinebench, what camera should I look at? I'll look at you. If it passes Cinebench at 5.2, I'm going to run OCCT. Depending on where it fails, if it fails immediately or if it fails in like 15 minutes, I'll just bump the voltage. If it still fails under 30 minutes, I'm going to go down to 5.1 gigahertz. So we'll see what this does. So far they've all been doing 5 gigahertz at 1.35 or less voltage. So I'm perfectly happy paying a premium just to get basically a guaranteed 5 gigahertz. So the reason why it was in this setup was because I didn't want the IHS to fall off while it was sitting. Let's see, how should I do this one? It bugs me that it doesn't look level. So which way do we gotta go? Sorry guys. It looks kind of weird, I think. Alright. That'll do. That'll do. So the IHS, like I mentioned, it's already been delidded. Trying new camera angles on this one. Hopefully they work out okay. Seems like it's okay, I guess. If anyone has any questions regarding computer builds or delids or overclocking or anything about my business, I'm happy to answer. I'm pretty much an open book. Actually, I'm not going to need you at all. It's weird starting mid-process. I do everything so systematically that even though the IHS has been popped off, I'm still like trying to get it ready to get it set up to delid. Instead of coffee, maybe I should have gone for the energy drink. So we're gonna get this out of the way. Alright, so first order of business, we're going to be reusing this one, the Intel IHS, just because the Rocket Cool one is out of stock. I've used the Rocket Cool one on 7900X, really good results. We did it on 7980XE, but the numbers, there was actually some cooling temperature issues on that one. I'm working with the owner on that to see what might be the cause. So we're just cleaning off the thermal compound that Intel uses. Reports on overclock.net are that it is toothpaste. Obviously it's not, but might as well be. Yeah, let's not solder a $1,000 plus processor. I could understand why they're trying to save money on the i7. I get it, it's your mainstream processor. You know, cool, I get it, but on your premium i9 series, that's just unacceptable. So I'm gonna put this blue paper towel down just to catch the silicone. I'll start with the IHS first. So make sure things are cool. Actually, let's check back in with that build here. Alright, we're gonna just run stock Cinebench and load up the monitoring software. Just make sure temps and everything are cool. This is a Delid 8086. I know you guys can't see it other than my back right now. The stream is being run off of the BH2, the K-Slabs build, and it's on a KVM, so I'm using the same monitor and mouse and keyboard for this one too. So we're idling at 32. This is stock, 32 degrees Celsius. It's gonna have it run all the tests. Let's jump back to the streaming system. Yeah, you know what was actually odd? Broadwell E, despite it being soldered, there's some really weird spreads on temperature with those. So I spoke with Der Bauer at CES, which was, I feel like, such a privilege. I know some of the guys on social media call me the Delid King, but I'm not. I'm not the Delid King. He is. And I also thank James of Rocket Cool for making these tools. It would probably be best if this front camera was on a tripod because it might shake a little while I'm cleaning stuff, so I apologize. But their perspective, Der Bauer's perspective, and I'm sure Rocket Cool because he's made a business out of it, is that they kind of sort of prefer the way it's going right now, because the actual like liquid metal thermal compound is better performing than solder. So, and if you're going like LN2 or sub-ambient cooling, the solder could crack. So those guys are delidding soldered CPUs with a greater risk of damaging them back when they were soldered. That's why Der Bauer has this real fancy contraption that'll heat up the CPU, and he's been able to delid like Ryzen CPUs because it's something he's been doing for a while, even with like the Intel ones. Despite them being soldered, they still need to delid them for their like ambient or sub-ambient cooling. So I'm just going through. This is one reason why I like using the Rocket Cool IHS. Like, even if it gave 0 performance numbers, I would be perfectly fine using it, just because look at all this cleaning I gotta do. Kind of like sucks. And this part actually chews up these plastic tools, but I still rather use a plastic tool that gets destroyed on its first shot, just because it makes my life easier using this. I used to use like Scotch-Brite, but this is, I think, a little easier to do than Scotch-Brite. Yeah, the part that sucks is that you do lose your warranty. Wait, what? Thought I heard that Intel's accepting RMA of a CPU. Upside down heat spreader. So here's my theory, and I'm not condoning like lying or anything. I'm like, I try to be very straight edge in life. But if you delidded a CPU and they don't ask you if you delidded it, and you turn it in and it gets accepted, maybe they really don't care. You know what I mean? I mean, if they ask me, did you delid your CPU? You know, yes, I did. And they deny it, I get it. But if they don't ask me, kind of like a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. If they don't ask me, then why not still try to RMA it? Especially if you did a good job and you know like your delid didn't destroy it. Because I mean, I've seen the memory controllers die. The CPUs that I've had go bad over the years were not delidded, and honestly, they were X99. They were. I've had a client, and I think it was because his home was so old, the electrical was bad. He killed two 5930Ks with mild overclocks. So that said, yes, processors do die. Specifically, his case was the memory controller on at least one of those situations. But he did say, like, you know, his housekeeper or his maid was there the day before, and the last time she was there, the TV was dead. So I think her vacuum cleaner or something was like a real high power draw, and probably sent a surge or something weird across the circuit. I know this isn't on camera. I'm basically just using this Kimtech wipe, which is kind of like the consistency of a tissue. Just using that to clean off the IHS, and you could see it's getting pretty nice and clean. So this is a 7920X i9. Oh, it is. Let me check. Man, auto mod. I'm gonna have to turn off auto mod. Let's see. Show. This happened earlier with Eli. He was asking about like the 6950X. Wow, yeah, your comment. I just approved them. Let's see. Show. Where's the auto mod? Okay, let's see. Manage. Let's see, I just turned down auto mod to like level 0, only commonly blocked terms. So maybe that's like racial terms and stuff now. Or, I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, no kidding, man. So let's try that again. Let's hope that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, I just turned on auto mod in case like someone came and tried to crap on the stream, but that's the second time today auto mod was not doing a good job. Hey Josh, so what system are you building right now? Because I know I think you have that X299 board. And was it the i5 or i7 you were getting for that thing? Okay, now for the fun part. This is the tricky part. Let's see. The best focal range is probably around here, maybe. We have to be careful with all of these components that are on the daughter board when we clean this. We need to make sure we don't damage any of them. Gosh, man, I need better cameras. That's what makes the i9 series kind of scary to Delid. It's because there's a lot of little stuff you could break off. I believe the correct term is SMDs, like surface mounted devices. Not totally sure though. What's your end goal for that platform? Are you just gonna be happy with that CPU if it does something like 5.4 or 5.2 gigahertz? I ended up selling my golden 7600K. That thing was good, man. It was 5.2 gigahertz at like 1.39. I had the 5 gigahertz 7700K, so I kind of felt like I didn't need it. But in some ways, I kind of like wish I still had it. I just don't want to be like a component hoarder. Camera angle still doesn't really make it easy for you guys to see what I'm doing. This might end up being kind of blurry, but this is probably better than... Still probably better than nothing. Let's see how that works out. I have autofocus turned off on this cam, well, all of them too, so it doesn't like... It doesn't distract or make funny movements when it shouldn't. This is like one of those delicate parts. I very much so prefer doing like i5 and i7 delids because these are kind of like stressful. Not like stressful, like I dread doing them, but I gotta go slow and steady. Alright. And like the one thing I'm focusing on doing when I'm removing this silicone is making sure the tool is flat so the sharp edge of the tool isn't digging into anything. Because I think, like, you hear of some people that are killing their processors even though they're using good tools. I have a suspicion that they might, when they're cleaning their silicone, they might be like digging into the substrate and messing up traces that are under the, you know, the green like PCB or whatever that are running through it. You know, I imagine it just takes messing up one of those to severely damage a processor. Here's another really close one. So it's probably not going to show up very well. Let's see. Actually, that's probably as good as it'll get. I know it's real blurry, but you could vaguely make out these components right here. And the silicone's super close to it. So with this tool, I'm just going to kind of scratch away, like pull it away, and then I'll go in and clean it up as normal. Trying to let you guys see as much as I can, and I'll get back to chat in a second. I just want to get past this part of it. Alright, there we go. So now that the bulk of it was removed, I could kind of be more confident when I run through it. It's just a gentle touch when you're doing the fine cleanup like I am right now. When you're taking the big stuff off, you need a little more pressure. But when you're doing just the fine cleanup, very light pressure to get the rest of the stuff off. You don't need a whole lot. It also helps too, like if you're very delicate, right? Like if you touch one of those components, if you have a delicate touch, it's not gonna hurt it at all. But if you're going in there like full force, I mean, I wouldn't want to like weaken the solder or anything that is holding that on. Switch to this side. Looks like we're getting pretty much done with the delicate part. Alright, let's see what's up with chat. Let's see. Waiting for your 7640. Yeah. You might see like the 7820X and the 7900X come up, maybe as guys start to upgrade slowly to the higher core count. Like once the 7980XE starts coming down, but like some of those guys actually might jump onto like Threadripper 2. That might be actually where we might see some of these go for sale. Yeah, I hate the name that NVIDIA, like I gotta look up Turing to see what the heck that is. 8 gigabyte black USB. That's cool. Oh man, I've never had a chance to use the 690. So let's get back to this because I would like to go to sleep soon. One of these sides has like a little chip here. So you want to be careful when you're doing that side that you don't damage it. Otherwise, we're almost done with the cleanup. That's the most boring part. But I figured, hey, it's not every day someone does a 7820X. I'm sorry, 7920X Delid. I think this might be my first one to stream. I've done the 7900X live Delid before. Alright, so like same thing, like here's that chip on this side right here. Let's see, how can I get that to show up? So the little chip is right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like pull away from it to get the bulk of it off, all the silicone with an E at the end. And then now I just go in and get the rest of it off. Alright. Yeah, man, TR1 was such a pain in my side. I had to fix a lot of them that another builder did. Like RAM issues, getting 128 gigs to work on it. Like all of the ones I had to work on had 128 gigs. Man, one of them, like the worst one, and it was all Dominator GT RAM. I don't think any of them had like, you know, Samsung VDI. Maybe, well, I don't know, maybe Dominator GT was Samsung VDI, but one of the RAM kits was like 3200 megahertz, and I had to go all the way down to like 2400 megahertz to prevent the system from crashing. I shipped it back after I fixed it. I shipped it back at 2666, and then it was running good for like a month at that client. And they're a design firm. They're a worldwide known company, but I'm not going to mention them. It passed their in-house stress test using their own specific software and one of their really crazy renders. And then just some random project, it would crash intermittently. It wasn't like very consistently, but it was enough where they brought it up like, hey, any idea what's going on? And I'm like, look, it's Threadripper. Let's set it at 2400 megahertz and see what happens. And since doing that, it's been fine. It's been like months now. And that was, I don't know, I think even Wendell had an issue getting 128 gigs to work on a ASRock board in particular. Like it just wouldn't even recognize all the sticks. So definitely like Ryzen and Threadripper 1 had their fair share of memory issues. It seems like the 2700X fixed a ton of that, and that's obviously the same processor in Threadripper 2. So I'm extremely optimistic. Like, dude, that thing could be a monster. Yeah, I'm not sure. You might be right. I didn't really look it up because I normally don't use Corsair. It's just this builder happened to use Corsair, which is cool. I just feel like G-Skill, they have better timings on their RAM. I don't know, like Corsair used to offer really good timings in like the DDR3 days, and I feel like they've gotten lazy with timings. Whereas G-Skill, you'll get like a 3200 megahertz 14 kit, and I don't think Corsair has anything like that. I mean, yeah, you could manually overclock, but you know, because like some workloads you want that latency. Like I'd rather have 3200 14 over like 3400 or 3600, you know, 16 or something like that, or 17s is something you probably see. So for the most part, guys, she's nice and clean. Just gonna touch her up a little bit. So cosmetically, like, there's no more real signs of silicone. I'm just gonna blow this thing off, so I'm gonna mute the mic real quick. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I know G-Skill isn't using B-Die on all of the Trident Z anymore, but I'm gonna mute this. So what I was doing was I was just blowing off the CPU and the tool, just get all the lint and dirt that might be on there off. And that's why I use the paper towel, because I isolate most of the silicone to the paper towel. So now we're just gonna go over this with alcohol. Let's get another fresh one. Let's check on that system real quick. So stock 8086, we got a single core 210 and a multi-core 1363. That's actually, I think, the best stock single core I've had so far. Let's save this result. 55 degrees Celsius with a 280mm all-in-one and 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Not bad. So I'm gonna try to get that into BIOS while I multitask here. Actually, I might move one of the camera angles over so you guys can see what I'm doing over here. Sorry guys, too much trouble. I need to get work done. So I'm just gonna go set up the XMP. Multi-core enhancement disabled, 0 AVX offset, core ratio, sync all cores. Let's go for 5.2 gigahertz. Where's the, put it in performance mode on, this is an Asus motherboard. So performance mode, basically you'll automatically raise all the power limits for you. You don't have to go in there and do them all manually anymore. That's something they added in one of the more recent BIOSes. Let's see, what am I missing? Let's set, I'm just gonna manually set core to 42, or I mean the cache. I will bring that up later. Actually, let's just do 45. It should be fine at 45. Disable BCLK, adaptive voltage, and I go manual mode all day, every day. I do not like adaptive. Every now and then a BIOS bug will kick in with adaptive and overvolt, and I like the security of knowing it is what I set it to. Alright, let's check out the stream. Alright, things seem cool. Let's see what happens with that one. Alright, let's clean her off in the meantime. Once we clean her off, we're going to insulate the CPU. Yeah, where's all the IG people at? IG being Instagram. Instagram chat, guys. Top secret group on Instagram. like I'm one of the oldest people in there. Randy might be around my age. It's weird. You know, young kids are getting really smart these days. Like you know, I'm not gonna reveal ages online here, but some of them are teenagers, and their knowledge of hardware makes me like look at myself and be humble, because I'm like, some of these kids could do what I'm doing, and I would totally hire them if my workload justified an employee. Except actually a lot of them are either outside of the state or not even in this country. So we're cool. We're gonna go back and clean this one more time with fresh alcohol pad. My favorite liquid metal to use is the Cool Laboratories Liquid Pro. I just don't like any of the Ultra or Ultra 2, don't like those. Thermal Grizzlies Conductonaut's good, except I just don't care for the container it comes in. And it's a little trickier to get. It's not always available. So it's more expensive than Liquid Pro also. So it's got a few things against it. It's good otherwise. But I'm just gonna stick to Liquid Pro. I've been using it for like probably 5 years, but I've been only doing delids for clients for about 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years now. So now we're just gonna blow this off one more time. Let's see what's going on. 650 boys taking it back. Yeah, Owen seems pretty happy. I wish he had a better sample, but those 6950Xs didn't really overclock very well. Hold on, I'm gonna mute while I blow off the CPU. Okay, Automod seems to not be kicking in, which I'm happy about. Alright, so let's run this 5.2 gigahertz, 1.35 setting, and I forgot to set LLC. Auto LLC does pretty good though. Auto LLC seems to put it to like level 7. And for some reason, like level 6 sometimes undershoots, so... Oh man, things open so fast. My personal one won't do 5.2 though. At least not on the U9S. I need to go over 1.4, and that's too much voltage for the 92mm Noctua. We're at 70 degrees Celsius, 1.35 volts. It's running at 5.2 gigahertz right now. Let's see what she does. 1667. Dang. We'll run single core. That'll take a while, so let's get back to the Delid. Man, almost a 1700. Someone on OCN, overclock.net, had a 5.5 gigahertz one. They got the 5.3 binning from like Silicon Lottery or something, and he was able to get 5.4 functional. 5.5 would get to BIOS or Windows, but wouldn't finish a Cinebench run. Alright, let's pull down the glasses a little bit. I'm just using nail polish. It's like the clear stuff. And this is so that if any liquid metal gets off the die, it won't short out the CPU. I used to use liquid electrical tape, But general consensus is like Der Bauer uses this. James at Rocket Cool uses this. And not because the liquid electrical tape doesn't work well, but this is easier to apply, and some say it actually lasts longer. So I'm all for that. So I do 2 passes. This first one's just to kind of get it on there, and then I do a second pass just to make sure it's a nice thick coat. One thing you got to be careful though is you don't want it to be taller than the die, because then the IHS will not make good contact with the die. That is more of an issue with like the i7s, like the 8700K and like 7700K, because that die is shorter. It's always funny when I go buy some of this stuff and I ask for help. The first time I asked for help, I'm like, what would the best stuff be? I'm actually using this for hobby grade, and I was trying to find the one that had the best brush. So it was funny how the woman was explaining the brush characteristics. Okay, let's do one more pass. So at this point, this stuff is going to start to get a little tacky. Like, so when you're doing your second pass, you need to be gentle and make sure when you pull away, it's not leaving a trail, like a little stringy trail behind. Because if that gets on the die or something, you're definitely going to want to clean that off before applying the liquid metal. Also, when you're doing the second coat, because it starts getting tacky, you want to make sure the brush has plenty of nail polish on it. Almost done. I'll get back to the chat right now, guys. Just wanna do this detailed work real quick. Alright, last row. So I do these for clients, anyone watching that wants one done. If you don't want to do it yourself, I'm happy to do them. I think my webpage is listed on the screen there. I have a Delid section. Okay. So now we're going to do the fun part, the liquid metal. Hey Storm, thanks for tuning in, man. Yeah, so that's the 7920X, and that shares the same die size as the 7980XE. I haven't had them literally side by side, but having done a Delid on them, it looks identical. The 7900X is smaller, and I think that's why it runs a lot hotter. Like, the 7920X runs cooler than the 7900X. It's funny, it's really weird. I'm gonna tune back. I'm gonna jump over on the KVM here and get back on this one. And oh man, Nick would be so jealous at this single core score. We're at 5.2 gigahertz, 8086K, 1.35 volts. single core of 225. Dang. That's all nice and fun, but will it pass a stress test? I don't know. I haven't had one do 5.2 at 1.35 volts. So I'm not expecting it to. The question is, how long will it take for it to fail? That'll determine which way I go. Because it's an SFF, like small form factor chassis. You could go up to 1.4 fine, but for me to hit the temperature range I want, really 1.35 is where I need to be. And we'll see how long this thing runs at 5.2. We're at 10 seconds and counting. I would love to see a 5.2 gigahertz one. Okay. So here is the liquid metal. Let's see. This is why I like the Liquid Pro. Try to get it in its full go range. That works. The Liquid Pro has that metal tip, makes it super easy to apply. What I normally do is, I'm away from the die right now. I'm gonna try to get a little blob going, because sometimes this stuff will shoot out. So once I start seeing the little ball at the tip of Liquid Pro start to come out, then I'll go over the die and get ready to apply it. And this is a big boy die, so you're gonna use a lot. And this isn't the time to be stingy. And then I also do it on the IHS. Alright guys, I'll get back into the chat now. Come on, suck in. Go back in. There we go. Alright. We're gonna use, let's see. Did I sell? Oh, did he sell it yet? No, I think he has the 6850K listed on eBay right now. You're at 170. Oh, you're a single core. What is yours clocked at, Storm? I'm gonna mute this so I can blow this tip. This is like a lint-free brush. I'm just gonna blow that off just to make sure there's no pieces that come off. Oh, it wasn't muted earlier. I'm sorry. Oh, dude, not like that, man. Oh, 4.2 on a 5820K or 5930K. Let's check on that 5.2 gigahertz. I'm expecting a fail. Oh my gosh, it is still running. Is it throttling? No, it's at 5.2 gigahertz. Oh my gosh, I might be a little jealous here. Damn. 79 degrees Celsius. Let's see, those fans, the RPM is at 1700 RPM. These are ML140s. They'll go up to 2000 RPM. We have a peak of 1730. Man, that's a good one right here. I don't expect it to go the whole 1 hour, but just the fact that it made it this far, man, it's still going. All right, back to the Delid. 5930K, 4.2. Oh, 4.5 is only 177. And 3200 megahertz might help a little bit, but it's not gonna like make it 185 or anything. So here's the key, guys. When when you spread the Liquid Pro, push down and then out. You can kind of see like the stuff doesn't want to. You gotta kind of slowly make it spread out. I'm just painting a little bush here, little happy tree, or a sun maybe. It's a lonely tree. So, and then now I like to use a circular motion to paint it on. Sorry, I'm trying to be like Bob Ross. Maybe this Halloween I'll do a Bob Ross costume stream. So I'm just gonna go around the outside of the die and make sure every little nook and cranny has been coated. We're just spreading it out with the brush. I would be honored to be called the Bob Ross of building PCs. Okay, and now it's puddled near the center mostly, so now we're just gonna rotate like circular motion so it's kind of more evenly applied. Striking the baby monitor, I thought I heard my boys. They're sleeping through the night pretty good now. The earlier days, like about a year ago when I would stream, it would seem like it was hard to stream because they'd wake up so frequently, and if I wasn't there next to them, they would freak out. But now they're pretty much sleeping through the night, and it makes doing these impromptu streams like a lot easier. This was an unplanned stream. Oh, let's get what's going on. Get that coated again. There we go. So that's nicely coated. Now we're going to do the same to the IHS. So this is what I do. You can see this stuff doesn't run. It's still balled up right there. Let's just spread it a little bit first. This is one reason why I like the copper, is that, dude, it goes the Liquid Pro just loves the bare copper IHS. It bonds so beautifully. You really gotta work on these Intel ones. Anyways, and this is like the most important. This is the most important part of a Delid, I think, for getting good results. Is you want to make sure the IHS is properly coated. Oh man. Yeah, IPC. The IPC on 5820K isn't as good as the new stuff. So the IHS needs to go like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like eyeball it to make sure when I spread this out, it's the same width, or actually a little greater than the width of the die. And then same thing this way. I want to make sure this is coated where the die is. I've almost, like, I was using so many of the Rocket Cool IHSs that I almost forgot how difficult these Intel ones are. You're technically supposed to scuff it up, but if you're just patient and work it in, it's cool. I would love to hear more music from music's by Foxtails. This is, I think, is only like complete album, which I don't have the name off the top of my head, but I like the style of this album. I'd love to hear more music like this. Generally not my genre, but it's been growing on me. I'd love to do streams with more like music I listen to on a normal basis, but because of copyrights and stuff, I don't know, just I guess it's better to use music that I'm allowed to. Almost done here. And I'm just pushing down and spreading. Alright, so now let's see how this looks. Okay. Just gonna... So I'm good on this side. I just need to push it out a little more on this side just to be safe. And then this way I seem perfect. So just a hair more. Yeah, just a hair more. This is why I charge more for i9s than i7s. So this should be perfect. I'd rather be a little larger than under on the coating. Oh man, Storm, what happened on Rocket League, man? You're like definitely the best Rocket League player I know. But I don't really know a lot of people either, so but you do seem good. Alright, so I've put the silicone that I use is from Permatex, and it's called the Right Stuff. I've put it in the syringe, and I use these needle tips. This is a 14 gauge, and I use them to apply the silicone consistently and quickly. Squeeze some out. There's a lot of pressure when you do that, but it's easily the best way to do it. So, make sure I'm on camera here. So I'm just gonna apply some right here, right here, right here, and right here. And you remember, like, there was a lot more in the middle there, but not necessary. If we ever need to, like, delid this again, it'll be so much easier. Now, there's a bit of a gap on these CPUs where there's like an air gap where this is over the substrate, so you want a nice little bead. You don't need to make it like super flat. In all honesty, like, I bet if you turn the CPU into Intel, they wouldn't know it was delidded. And, you know, they're too big to care. It's not like they're gonna fix one and resell it as a refurbished unit. It probably just ends in the recycle bin. So now it's time to put her on. This stuff cures really fast. I like to wait an hour, but in all honesty, if you're in a rush, man, 30 minutes should be fine. So the triangle's right here, so that means I should be able to read the text. So it's gonna go on like this. I try to drop it on nice and even. And I'm gonna push down, and I use these silver dollars. I actually don't know if they're silver. They're not silver, but they're the large dollar coins. They're actually out of, they haven't been making them. So if you have them, it's like we're not currently, the US government currently isn't making more of them. You could still use them. And then now I'm just gonna tighten this down. I'm gonna back off, tighten it down again. I'm gonna back off, and then this should do it. Just kind of wait for it to feel nice and tight. You'll see this part moves up and down. I'm just trying to work the silicone that I just put on so it could be as thin as possible. And that's it. Storm, you don't like PUBG? Do you favor Fortnite, or do you just hate those battle royale games? Let's see what's going on with the... Okay, so the 8086 failed at 4 minutes and 53 seconds. I think I'll go... It got up to 82 degrees Celsius. It's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So you guys got to remember too that may watch this. Voltage isn't the only thing that'll make the temperature go up. Clock speed will also. So 5.2 gigahertz, 1.35 volts. We had a peak of 1.39 actually. So I want to manually set LLC and then go for 5.1. But ultimately, I think we're gonna need to go all the way down to 5 gigahertz. I'll do that later though. Let's check on the stream. I don't hate them, but I much prefer play Fortnite. You know, man, I just played Fortnite the first time a couple days ago, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was fun, man. But I'm so rusty on those shooter games because I don't get to play often that I think I played like an hour and didn't even get a single kill. My brother-in-law was in town. He's actually in high school. So he got to play on PC, which is the first time. I think he plays a mobile platform. He actually no, he plays on his laptop, but it's like a ultra thin. So I think it's like minimum settings. So playing on the 4K monitor with the keyboard and mouse like blew him away. It's totally fun for him. I enjoyed it. I'm glad it's free. I don't care, like, screw like PUBG for thinking they should sue over it. Like, is Call of Duty supposed to sue Battlefield or vice versa? I mean, racing games are my favorite also. I love racing games, dude. That's it though, guys. I don't think I have much more. What time is it? It's almost 3 a.m. Guess I'll call it a night. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you on Instagram. All my social media is up there. I'm also on Facebook, but I don't use it, so it's really just like a placeholder. So that's why it's not on there. But Instagram, Twitter, or get my email address from the webpage if you guys need any quotes or delids done. See you guys, and till next time.